We'll have to repent for that one. That was, I kept thinking and trying so hard to not say it, that was literally something that I did not say. I had to delete the VODs, make sure they were deleted. I feel terrible. Actually, I mean, I think words are words, man. Bless you. I think words are words at the end of the day. But still. But yes, I like that band because I'm not racist. We'll put it that way. It's all good. I think that the stream needed to be reset anyways. That's fine. I'll hold accountability. Stuff like that can ruin a person's entire, like, streaming career, though, dude. That's bad part about it. I mean, at least I wasn't using it with a harmful intention. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't, like, being like, oh, bad. You know what? If I got permabanned from streaming, I think that it would set me free. Because I think that's the only way that I would quit streaming. I think the dude's a robot, regardless of what anybody says. Legitimately think that Elon Musk is a robot. Potentially. Dude, I believe in some out of this world stuff, man. And I think eventually truth will come to light, and then people will be like, oh my gosh, man, you was right. Holy crap. But trying to get people to believe things or whatever, man, it just won't happen. Everybody has their own truth. Like I said, people have to experience things on their own. You can sit and tell somebody fire hot, fire burn, fire bad. But until they get burnt, they're not going to believe it. This ain't gonna cut it, dude. Without having an epic mount. Look, there's one sitting there doing that. I mean, good on them, though. They're leveling in this area and mining. Ooh, give me that. At least let me tap it. There we go. It's actually kind of interesting, but I don't believe in aliens. I believe in demons. But I mean, that's her truth. You know what I mean? Whether she sounds bat crap crazy or not, that's her reality. Who am I to judge? You know? Who am I to judge? I am not one to judge. Never have been. Well, I used to judge pretty hard. Now, I could tell you some stuff, man. Then you'd be all like, "Ooh, I don't know, man. I don't think I like this guy anymore." Like, I ain't even going to do it. I'm not going to do it because it'll just... I know what it'll lead to. Like, dude, I don't think you understand like how it is being in my head, because I feel like it is truth because it's my truth, right? And I want to share it with people, and like my point of views and aspect on it, and maybe somebody will be all like, you know, man, that actually makes very perfect sense, that it's logical, it's yada yada yada. And then they look into it and then they come back to me and they're like, whoa, dude, I'm not saying that you're right, but like I think that this is true. I think it is. Which I've had a lot of people throughout my life, you know, do that, and vice versa, like me go to them, be all like, dang man, like, thank you for opening my eyes, shedding light on this situation, yada yada yada. But there's just too many closed-minded people out there, man. One person ruins it for the whole bunch. Oh, are you talking about Hitler? That's not what I was talking about, but whenever it comes to... I don't trust any of the world's governments. I'm going to put that lightly. And I will say that I would have had to have been alive during that time period and know the dude or whatever to fully understand that whole thing. Because I believe that history books lie. I'm not saying that he was a good guy or a bad guy. I'm saying I was not there. I don't know. But I'm just saying that history books have been rewritten just as much as like the translations of the Bible being rewritten time and time and time again. You know, that's why whenever I read the Bible, I use spiritual discernment to be like, wait a minute. This is real, but this right here, you can definitely tell somebody like tampered with it. But history and stuff, there has been a lot of stuff within the past, I think 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, and it's a touchy subject. Yes, that's another thing right there too. Exactly what you just said. But again, who am I to say or judge a point in history that I was never a part of? In America, it's also not taught about like the true colonization of North America. The truth is not there. Rawr, no. Rawr, rawr. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, like, dude, was America founded on like tons of innocent death and this and that? Yes, it most certainly was. But what is taught in the history books is the whole concept of Thanksgiving. Native Americans and the British sat down at a table and shared a meal, and everybody was happy and this and that, but there was a little bits of war going on here and there and yada 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 yada. It's not taught that like the women were raped, the children were raped, that people were slaughtered for no reason other than like taking land. Yeah. I mean, dude, I don't trust history books. That's like with my kids, they're homeschooled. They know what they basically learn what they have to learn. You know, what they have to learn, but they know little bits and pieces of truth. And they know that like they have to, you know, abide by the rules of curriculum, yada yada yada. But they also know that like propaganda is propaganda. Mm-hmm. It's just history books are, it's not the truth, man. Yep. The wool blankets and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it was still super inhumane though, you know what I mean? Yep. That's like if a country, if America and another country went to war and that country won, history books, Americanized history or whatever would no longer be Americanized history because they can tell it however they want, and that's what would be taught. Look at North Korea. Look at North Korea is a prime example in all of this, dude. Like the North Korean like outlook on the rest of the world is totally false. I think it's, yeah, South Korea good, North Korea bad, I think. But that's what I'm taught. Isn't North Korea bad? Are they really bad? I think they're pretty bad though, because like the people who's escaped from North Korea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was watching, there's this channel that I like watching on YouTube, and it's refugees from North Korea that escaped, and they try meals from different places all over the world with like different hosts and stuff like that, dude. And the last one that I watched, this guy, man, it broke my heart. He was a dude probably in his early 40s, mid 40s, and just talking about how like most of the world's stuff is kept out of North Korea unless you're rich and you're living in what's the part of North Korea borders China. I can't remember the name of it. Oh yeah. I can't remember the name of it. It's not Seoul. That's South Korea, right? Seol. That's South Korea. But anyways, this dude, he was talking about how like he always dreamed of what it was like, the texture and taste of a candy bar that he saw in an American movie, in a Western movie. And whenever the North Korean government found out that his family had watched a movie from the United States, that his family was thrown into a prison, he had to go to a reform school, all kinds of stuff. And I think it would legitimately, dude, I think it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that he was talking about. You know, when Michelangelo's eating the Butterfinger or whatever it was in Raph's ear or Donnie's ear, one of the two, and they're like, get that out of blah, 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 blah. Like, dude, that's wild, man. Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I believe in my heart of hearts that North Korea is bad. They're the bad guy. And I only know this because my truth in people that I have watched who has escaped from it they've never said nothing good about it. The only good that they have ever said about North Korea is that their family, they miss and they wish that they could get unbrainwashed and escape too. That's the only good thing that and that's still bad, but that's the only good thing that I've ever heard about North Korea. But like with the Hitler stuff, man, I don't know. I have no idea. And I have people that ask me that a lot, believe it or not. Like my take on all that. Like, do I believe that millions of people should have died or whatever? No. Do I believe that like the whole what's been taught is true? No. Do I believe it's false? No. I don't know. Like I have no real opinion on it because I wasn't there. I don't know. Just to put it simply, I don't know. It's indoctrination, man. Like everything that we know today is essentially just pure and raw indoctrination. Everybody, not just America, just everywhere. And that's why, you know, whenever you get a gut feeling on something like being wrong, you know, like when you know something's wrong, but you was taught that it's right. It's one of those. Like it's your basic human instincts that's like, no, don't do that. But then the public eye is like, yes, do it. Sadly, USSR made the death numbers of Nazis look like small fry. I guarantee it. That's like I said before, man. I don't even believe in outer space, and I don't care what people think of me for my opinion. I ain't been to the moon. I ain't been past the freaking ozone layer. Is the ozone layer even real? Like what? I don't know what the truth is. We could all be plugged into the freaking matrix for all that I know. The only thing that I am 100% certain about in this life is that Jesus Christ is Lord. That's the only thing that I know. Again, because of personal experience. That's the only thing that I know. And I will take that to the grave with me. I know heaven is real and hell is real. Like that's, I've seen, I've felt. It's nothing to mess with, man. But those are truths to me. Those are reality and things that the hill, you know, the term, that's a hill I will die on. Well, that's a hill that I will most definitely die on. You want to know another hill that I'll die on? That it's really weird to pee and poop at the same time, and I think that if you pee and poop at the same time, there is something wrong with your body. That the pee comes after the poop. Don't do that. Stop. Stop the failing. Dude, I need 48 more points, man. This is... I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I have, like, no thorium. And I need... Well, I closed my browser. But I need a lot to level up my blacksmithing. But the question is, do I go weaponsmithing or armor smithing? If I go armor smithing, I can totally help myself out. But if I go weaponsmithing, I can totally make bank. I'm starting to get hungry now. Starting to get a little bit hungry. Yeah, I think I'm just going to mess around with these middle spawns because they're going to keep respawning while people are running around the outer parts. Maybe, maybe not. Nothing here. That's how I used to be. 100%. That's how I used to be. Anybody who knew me before I gave my life to Christ can tell you that that's literally how I used to be, dude. 100%. 100%. But I had my quote unquote radical encounter that shook me to the core and changed my perspective in my life for the rest of my life. You know, my great grandmother, she always told me, and this is as real as it and uncut as it gets. My grandma told me, because she was a big Christian woman, man. Like, whenever you hear Christian, like, she's how people who follow Jesus should have been, like, everybody. But she told me, she said, no matter how many people tell you you need to give your life to Christ, even though it's factual, like, you, not word for word, even though it's factual that you will have a better life, learning his teachings, learning the teachings of the Bible and applying them to your everyday life, it cannot in any way make your life negative. She said, no matter how much people try to push God on you, push Jesus on you, only that is a relationship between you and God, not you and the other person. Because I always told my grandma, I said, the more you talk to me about God, the less interested I am in him. Like, I don't want to believe in this, especially if it's being forced on me. And that's why she said what she said, is because, like, dude, I had to experience what I experienced through my own experience, not through somebody else's. And I am forever grateful and thankful until the day, well, for all eternity, that, you know, like the song, that he saved a wretch like me. And I will stand firmly planted with that for all eternity. I mean that. I don't even know how that's possible, but I mean, if that's your truth, that's your truth. I will beg to differ, but it's nothing to argue about. Mm-hmm. I want the best for everybody, man. Like, I was just having a conversation with my little brother earlier. I pray for my enemies, man. Like, I hope everybody succeeds in this life. I hope everybody does wonderful. Life is too short to hold a grudge and hate people, man. Like, it's just not something that we were created to do, is hate one another. But anyways, the reason that I disagree with what you say, or said, not say, I don't disagree with everything that you say, just that last sentence prior to the last. The reason I say that is because whenever you surrender yourself and understand that being kind is effortless and free, And instead, like, don't get depressed anymore, don't get mad anymore. And I'm a prime example of a hypocrite, and that I do live in perpetual sin, but or else I wouldn't have had the experience I had earlier, right? Malice, wrath, anger. But I did, because I'm only human. But the closer a person draws to Jesus, it's crazy, because like it teaches in the Bible, when you worry or you're full of anxiety or you're depressed or you're angry, it does not add a second onto your life. If anything, because of stress, it takes time away from your life. And that is true. Stress, cortisol, or high cortisol, all that is one of the #1 killers in adults. And it's been that way for a very long time. So what the Bible's basically teaching is, ain't no worries for the rest of your days. You know, Hakuna Matata, man. Hakuna Matata. Quite literally, Hakuna Matata. And it teaches to teach or treat people, even though they treat you like dirt, you don't have to stoop to their level. You rise above that and you be better. True. But I will tell you this, my dude. I hope you have the most crazy, I pray that you have the most craziest radical encounter with Jesus, with God, with the Holy Spirit, and you even come to me and I mean this when I say this, and you come to me and you're like, dude, this happened to me, and I hope I don't believe it, because I hope your experience is like mine. I hope it's so crazy that no one will believe you other than you, and that be your truth. And like, and before you think that that's bad, that's not bad. I'm not meaning that in a bad way at all. I mean that in a positive, loving way. Even though we've never met and probably never will meet in our lives, I love you, dude. I'm proud of you for waking up today and making it another day. You know, that's just the person that I am. Because why? Because Jesus made me that way. I mean, dude, again, I used to say the same stuff. Do you know how many people's minds that I've blown whenever they came, like people I went to school with in like my early 20s and stuff? One of my buddies that I bumped into 5 years ago or so, it was kind of funny. Because he was like, what's up, dude? You know, talking like how we always talked and blah, 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 blah. And he, you know, said Jesus Christ in a derogatory sense in front of me. I was like, bro, can you please not say that? Like, it's distasteful. You can, exactly what I told you, you can use any other word or whatever. And he was like, you're joking, right? And I was like, about? And he was like, you? He was like, you are a Christian? I was like, no, I'm not a Christian, but I was like, I follow Jesus Christ. I'm a follower of Christ, because Jesus said, like, don't focus on religion, don't follow religion, follow me. And I am the only, but like whenever he was having a conversation with Nebuchadnezzar, I think it was Nebuchadnezzar, I can't remember. But, you know, I am the way, the truth to the Father. You must be baptized through water and the Holy Spirit, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I blew his mind, man. He was like, and hundreds of other people were like, something sus, man. Like, you a part of a cult? You know, like, did you drink the Kool-Aid? I just think it's funny, man. Whenever somebody that lived their entire life full of anguish and like that persona of being just the ruthless malice, Just like, don't care about your God, don't care about yada, yada, yada. Bends the knee and surrenders like completely. I don't know, man. Being like God could exist, I highly doubt it's in the form we view it. That's the thing about a cosmic entity, man, is that I don't know if you read the Bible or ever had any interest in it. It's a good read, even for people that don't believe in God or believe in Jesus. It's a good read. It's like supposedly like the greatest book to ever be written. But anyways, it says in the Bible that like you cannot see God. You can't. Even those in heaven, they cannot. He's just radiating in such a glow that like you cannot see him. You will go blind. And that alone says enough to me that like if nothing can see him, like it's something that our brains, God is something that we will never be able to wrap our head around. It's like remember our conversation before about eternity? Like we cannot, as humans, feeble-minded little monkeys, we cannot wrap our heads around even the basic concept of what eternity is. We only know the definition of eternity, that it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. But we have such short lifespans that, dude, it's starting to hurt my brain. Oh gosh, it's starting to make me sick feeling. Starting to make me feel a little sick, bruv. Time ceases to exist when it comes to eternity. You can sit and watch your clock with made-up time all you want, 24/7, but it will not grasp the fundamental principle of eternity. It's weird, and I don't like it. It's too confusing. It hurts my brain. Sure. My butt hurts. Ow. I just read it. Are you talking about what you just said, or is there like an actual quote? Because you can copy paste a quote if you want, dude. I don't mind. I mean, there's nothing in this world that will ever get me to not believe in my beliefs. Nothing. Somebody could show up at my door right now and say, I'm going to kill your entire family unless you denounce God. I will not deny my Father in heaven. I'm sorry. Like, it's just not going to happen. If I live in peace, I don't care what gets me there. That's kind of scary though, man. It really is. Because like, if you're willing to do anything to achieve peace, that means anything. Or I don't care what gets me there or whatever. That's something that needs to be reiterated. Like, you need to really observe that. Because remember our conversation the other night, like about the gentleman's agreement thing, that very topic that you brought up. What if somebody says that? And that is the only way that you can achieve peace. Would you? You know what I'm saying? It's just a little brain booger. Just a little old brain booger. Nope, would not. Because I know that if somebody killed my family, we would rejoice in heaven together for all eternity, man. That's just my belief. Now, if somebody tries to harm one of my kids, you know, If it doesn't have to do with denying my father in heaven, then yeah, dude, I'll wreck someone. Okay, so this dude is getting thorium. Great. Hello, I don't know how to say your name. Jin you? Something. Right. But I mean, it's the same. There's validation in the argument, just like the other night, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, to not care what you got to do to achieve true peace. That's a, what is the word that I'm looking for? Is it subject? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. I don't know how to put it into words. I'm about to give up on mining, dude. I can't. Even if I join another layer, it's not going to go well. Nope, 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 nope. Nope, 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 nope. I want to check up here one more time, and that's all she wrote. Chelsea, you want to run dungeons or what? Only thing we can run is ramparts. Brand farts. Oh, and before you think anything negative or whatever over what I said with the whole, you know, if somebody shows up and says that, you know, deny my father. In the Bible, it says you deny me in front. If you ever deny me, then that's pretty much it. So we're not, my wife and I, we're not the Kool-Aid drinking like God told me to kill my kids type people at all. Like, there's some pretty freaking crazy people out there, man. Some really crazy people. But we know God well enough that God would never bring harm upon children or tell you to do something terrible towards children and yada, yada, yada. Because it does say in the Bible that those that do harm children, harm the little ones, shall be put to death. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, dude, have you ever saw that stuff? No. Have you ever saw, like, those stories about people who did that? Like, freaking nutcases, dude. Sick individuals. Dude, it scared me so bad the first time I ever took, what is it called, communion or whatever. You know, you take a little sip of the juice and you eat the cracker. I was like, these mofos are going to kill me, dude. This is it. Like, do I do it anyway? Screw it. Whatever. Let's go. Time to party. Let's go. There's a call to people who poison the entire settlement. Oh, there you go. Yeah, that too. Dude, it's wild. I need to go back and read what you said. Do not care what you gotta do is the well, there's another way, because I just read. Hang on, let me think about this. Or anything external? The only way that I can put this also is, dude, you're 19. You have plenty of time to have life experiences. I'm not going to talk down to you like you're a child. Like, dude, I was 19 before. And I was talked down to like I was a child. But like, you're going to go through so many different phases and beliefs and just so many things, man, throughout your lifespan. I'm not even done with my experiences, dude. Hopefully, God willing, I still have 90 years, not 90, oh my gosh, dude, I'd be 60 years, like 60, 70 years ahead of me. Highly doubtful, but hopefully I do. So where I can get to experience pretty much everything. Yeah, living in the now, man. Dently. Words of wisdom, living in the now. But like, that's the most underestimated point of view that people can have, is like, well, what am I going to have for dinner tomorrow? Man, I wish I didn't do that yesterday. See, those are things that are irrelevant. They don't matter right now. Worry about them when the time comes. Gotta live in the now. But dude, I told you before, man, I will sit here and have any kind of conversation with anybody, whatever they want to talk about, man. I don't care. If I have any kind of knowledge on a subject, I will sit there and talk and talk and talk. But I will not ever have a conversation about something that I don't have knowledge about. Unless it's somebody trying to teach me something, then I'm all ears. But you will never catch me sitting there trying to act like I know something that I know nothing about. That's one of my really big pet peeves with people. I think my wife's asleep. Chelsea, are you awake? Oh, I don't care. I don't even remember what I said. I don't remember. So you're in the clear, buddy. You're in the clear. Yeah, probably. You'd have to go back into VOD to see what I said, because I can't remember. I'd have to go back into VOD to see what I said. I need to grab a snack or something. I don't feel good. Understandable. Dude, you want to know what my favorite chemically hang on. My heart.
Didn't they have somewhere? Yeah, I wasn't here. But it's a we do have it's a you can't said that same thing. Taking
It's all right. The I get long story short, I was misdiagnosed with something years ago. It gave me what we believe is congestive heart failure. So what happens is that I get arrhythmia and palpitations very, very, very bad. To the point that like I black out. I have not blacked out yet, but and I think that I've had a couple cluster strokes in my past from the heart condition. So I'm trying to calm myself down and like just not think, because it's not anxiety. The uh it's scary, man. Like very, very specific. And I've told everybody multiple times that if I ever just stop streaming, there's never another stream. And you're not in my Discord or whatever, you'd never know, but just assume the worst. Yeah. But what my heart feels like when that happens is that it rolls, is what it feels like is happening. And after the amount of stress earlier, man, like, I'm not surprised that this is happening. Stress will kill. And the last words that I would have said to my daughter is, if I have a heart attack and die, it's your fault. So she would, oh, dude. But that's not true. It's not her fault. It's mine for not knowing how to control my anger. Yeah, I read what you said. I can't think right now, man. Ugh. It's funny, dude. I go talking about, this is what happens, man. Whenever I talk about God a lot, these kind of things happen. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. The more I preach the gospel and the more I talk about God, the I feel like I'm dying.
What brings you here?
Yeah. Why am I shaking? Oh, I'm getting cold chills really bad. Now, if I die, I want to die in front of the camera so where everybody will know. That'd be crazy, dude. I'd scar so many people. It's not something I'd want. It's not me. Be crazy. It's acting like it's going to do it again.
Farewell.
It's scary, man. I mean, I don't think anybody wants to die, dude. Even those that seek death, I don't think that they truly want to die. Even for those like me that is certain of what comes after, the concept of people being without you is scary. I don't know. I don't know how to put it.